Information, please.
A new type of question and answer game.
How many miles are there in a light year?
Approximately 5,865,696,000,000.
Amazing.
Elementary.
A friend of mine asked me, by what cognomen would you designate the Homo sapiens seminar I perceived in your escortage yesterday evening? Will you please tell me what he meant?
He merely asked, who was that lady I saw you with last night?
Amazing.
Elementary. Yes, folks, during the next half hour, the public asks amazing questions, and a group of experts assembled here are supposed to make them elementary. We present tonight the first in a series of programs called Information, Please, a new type question and answer contest in which you, the very much quizzed public, will quiz the professors. Yes, the worm turns, and now the experts will have to know the answers to your questions, or else. Or else, you win $5. Now, here's how it's done. You send us questions and the correct answers. If our editors find them proper and fair, they will be presented to a panel board of experts for the first time during each broadcast. If your questions are used, you are entitled to $2 for each one and $5 additional if the board fails to answer your question correctly. Now, there are other rules governing this contest, but I'm going to let our master of ceremonies, Clifton Fadiman, give you that information. Mr. Fadiman, the book critic of the New Yorker magazine, has read thousands of books, so we figure he can handle even our quartet of mental giants. I want you to meet our intellectual Simon Legree, the Toscanini of quiz, Clifton Fadiman.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Before I give you any more details regarding the rules of Information, Please, let me tell you about the board of experts for tonight's broadcast. They face me. First, Bernard Jaffe, head of the Physical Science Department of Bushwick High School. Mr. Jaffe is author of a number of books of popular science, including Crucibles, Outposts of Science, which are two of the best known. Next, we have Mr. Marcus Duffield, day news editor of the Herald Tribune, and the last word on current events, politics, history, and so forth. You have several questions about and so forth from Mr. Duffield this evening. Third, we have Dr. Harry Overstreet, a genuine dyed-in-the-wool professor of philosophy at the College of the City of New York, and author of a great many books. Influencing Human Behavior is one that you may remember. And finally, we have Franklin P. Adams, known to millions, I wouldn't be exaggerating if I said thousands, as FPA, creator of the famous humorous column, The Conning Tower, which will shortly appear regularly in the New York Evening Post. Mr. Adams is an unbeatable authority on popular songs and batting averages. He admits it himself. Here they sit, these four towering intellects. On their faces is a look of confidence, which I believe to be entirely false. Now, folks, any education that you and I may pick up for the next half hour or so is all to the good. But beyond that, we're out simply to play this as a game and have some fun at it. Now, about the board's part in this contest. We guarantee absolutely, and we mean absolutely, that the questions will be shot at them now for the first time without any previous warning. These questions will be addressed to the entire board. Any member wishing to answer them may raise his hand and do so, or try to do so. If any member undertakes to answer a question, he must stand on his own. Other members of the board may not offer any assistance unless I ask for help. Now about the $5. The $5 penalty for an expert's failure to answer a question completely will be paid out from a kitty of $100 set up for each broadcast. And to make sure that the board works hard on each question, it's understood that what is left of the $100 kitty, if any, after penalties are paid, goes to the board for refreshment, such as a fine, cool glass of milk and a cookie. When you hear that cash register sound, let me hear that again. It sounds very good. That means $5 is actually being paid out to the lucky questioner, if he's here, or it will be sent to him if he isn't. Now, there are a number of people here in the studio waiting to address that question to the board. There are some questions we've received from out-of-town listeners, and these will be presented to the board by your master of ceremonies. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the first question. All set, Mr. Jaffe, Mr. Duffield, Dr. Overstreet, Mr. Adams. Here she comes. Morty Bauman of New York City will put the first question. Mr. Bauman.
The following women are important figures in the present administration. Miss Frances Perkins, Mrs. Nellie Ross, and Mrs. J. Borden Harriman. Can you give the positions occupied by at least two of these women?
Well, just to be on the safe side, you see, we're starting off with a tribute to the ladies. I'll repeat that question to Mr. Bauman. The following women are important figures in the present administration. Miss Frances Perkins, Mrs. Nellie Ross, and Mrs. J. Borden Harriman. Can you name the positions occupied by at least two of them? Mr. Duffield's hand is up at once. Mr. Duffield.
I believe I can, Mr. Fadiman.
Yes.
This is Nellie Taylor Ross, is director of the Mint. Madam Perkins is Secretary of Labor. And Mrs. J. Borden Harriman is chairman of the Women's Committee of the Democratic Party.
Chairman of the Women's Committee of the Democratic Party is a new one on me. I have her listed here as Minister to Norway. We'd better make up our minds.
Uh-oh.
I think she is Minister to Norway, and unless there's some evidence to the contrary, we'll have to ring up $5, which goes to Mr. Morty Bauman of New York City. Answer 2 out of 3. Correct. 2 out of 3 allows us to keep the $5 for that glass of milk, Mr. Duffield. The next one comes to us from the home of culture, and it guesses where that is. Boston, Massachusetts. Comes from Mr. George Smith. Correct the following line and name its author. And the line is, in the spring, a young man's fancy always turns to thoughts of love. Mr. Adams.
In the spring, a young man's fancy likely turns to thoughts of love.
Very, very neat. Very, very neat. Can you tell us, Mr. Adams, what is the source of that remark about love?
That was written by Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Well, see whether you know any more about it. And do you know in what poem it appears? I think I have him there. But he saves us from losing $5 all the same.
Locksley Hall.
Very good indeed. Sounds very much like a put-up job, but I assure you it's quite honest. Anyone looking at Mr. Adams' face will know that he's quite honest. Now, the next question will be given to us by Mr. Maxwell Garnett of New York. Mr. Garnett.
Why would it never be necessary for the man in the moon, if married to a chatterbox, to tell her to shut up?
That's a puzzler. I'm going to repeat it, see whether I understand it myself. Why would it never be necessary for the man in the moon, if married to a chatterbox, to tell her to shut up?
Well, that happens to be an easy one.
Oh, Mr. Jaffe, the scientist.
There is no atmosphere on the moon, and it requires air to transmit sound waves. Therefore, she can talk from today until doomsday, and nobody will hear her.
Nevertheless, I've listened over that question. It seems to me there's a catch in it. Because the real chatterbox on the moon ought to be able to create enough hot air of her own to allow her own atmosphere, don't you think?
That's rather weak science there, Mr. Fadiman.
It's the best I can do this evening, Mr. Jaffe. The next question comes to us from Miss Vera Cerruti of New York City. She's going to ask the question herself. Miss Cerruti.
In what well-known symphony did the composer include a chord in order to awaken a sleeping audience?
That's one for musicians. I'll repeat that one. In what well-known symphony did the composer include a chord in order to awaken a sleeping audience? Mr. Adams.
The Surprise Symphony.
That's a surprise answer. It's correct, too. Who wrote it?
Haydn.
Very good indeed. I thought you knew only batting averages, Mr. Adams.
I know all.
Surprise Symphony by Joseph Haydn is correct. The next question comes to us from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, from Miss Dorothy Curtis. I'll read it for her. Here is a quotation from Rudyard Kipling. Gives the next line. For a woman is only a woman, ... Volunteers, Mr. Adams again, the bright boy of the class this evening.
But a good cigar is a smoke.
Very good indeed. That's correct. You've been so clever on Locksley Hall, I'm going to ask you what poem that comes from, Mr. Adams. We've won the $5 so far. Don't worry too much.
I don't know, but it begins, open the old cigar box.
I didn't ask you that. It comes from a poem, The Betrothed, in case this ever comes up again next week or some other time, The Betrothed. The next question will be read to us, invented by Mr. Wally Freed of Long Island. Mr. Freed.
How is the immigration to the United States from the following nations restricted? England, Brazil, China.
I'll repeat that question. How is immigration to the United States from the following nations restricted? England, Brazil, China. Do I see a look of intelligence on your face, Mr. Duffield?
Doesn't look very intelligent to me, no.
Don't see that question.
I pass.
You pass. Anybody bid for spades? Dr. Overstreet.
I'm dumb.
He's dumb. Dr. Jaffe. You
That's
follow
not
suit.
my field.
Now, Mr. Adams, you have no field.
I didn't know there was any immigration.
No immigration. Looks very, very much to me as if I would have to ask the gentleman back here to ring up $5. $5 is going to Mr. Wally Freed of Long Island at this very moment. It's some sort of sauce that you boil along with water. What kind of fathead can be boiled in oil with impunity? Gentlemen, I'm going to give you 10 seconds on that one.
The head of a calf.
I beg your pardon?
C-A-L-S.
C-A-F-S. No, I haven't got that down on my notes here. Must be wrong. What kind of fathead can be boiled in oil with impunity? That impunity is what stumps me.
Who let that fathead in here anyway?
Now, Mr. Duffield. Dr. Jaffe, it seems to me that ought to be in your line. You're a chemist.
Are you calling me a fathead?
It seems to me that an atmosphere of general insult has already been established. Fathead. In order to pour oil with impunity on the troubled waters, I will now tell you that the kind of fathead that can be boiled in oil, thank you very much, is a fish named fathead to be found off the coast of California. Now, Mr. Gordon Kahn, who has just received the sum of $5, offers no explanation whatsoever of why these fatheads should stick around the coast of California rather than go any other place. Miss Fanny Berger of Brooklyn, New York, is here with a question.
With what is each of the following expressions associated? Big 4, Big 6, Big 10.
I'll repeat that question, a very good one. With what is each of the following expressions associated? Big 4, Big 6, Big 10. Mr. Adams again.
A railroad.
What one are you referring to, Mr. Adams?
The Big Four.
A railroad. Go ahead.
The Typographical Union.
For what word?
Big 6.
Yes?
And Big 10, I think I just saved the $5. I don't know.
Just save the $5 by getting 2 out of 3, you think. As a matter of fact, Mr. Adams gets just a slightly less than 2 out of 3. We might let it go by, though. The Big 4 represents a railroad train, a particular one on the Michigan Central. You admit that, don't you, Mr. Adams?
No.
You don't admit it. This is no time for you and I to have a struggle. The Big 4 ordinarily, however, is applied to the 4 principal statesmen at the World War Conference. Lloyd George, Orlando, Clemens.
I thought it...
So and Wilson. Otherwise, it may be applied to the railroad train on the Michigan Central, according to my notes. If you don't admit that, we lose $5 and that glass of buttermilk.
I thought it was the name of a railroad system. Big
Pardon?
4. Yeah. Railroad system.
Railroad system. In that case, we'll let it go. And we'll have to adjudicate with Miss Fanny Berger after the hour is over. Miss Fanny Berger, would you settle for $2.50? Now we have had, let me count up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions. And I'd like to know how much in the whole our 4 remarkable experts have gotten. Can the young lady in the back let us know? Can you let us know? According to this record, Mr. Jaffe, Mr. Duffield, Mr. Adams, and Dr. Overstreet, you have already lost us the sum of $12.50.